picture's worth 1,000 words, and this morning our Jen Dalton has a holiday DIY that can help you preserve some family memories in a really, really unique way. And I know that this was trial and error for you, so you are going to tell people as much what not to do as what to do.
At least what didn't work for me, because I've been working on this for about a week and a half, and the first couple things that I did not work out, but now they have. So what we are making today is photo ornaments. They're photo transfers that you can just, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to, there they have a really nice shot. I picked all our families, so there's Tara, Bob's family, Sheila's family, and you transfer these photos onto, they're little wood slices that I drilled a hole into to make into an ornament, but you could use them as coasters once you seal them, that type of thing. And the process is pretty simple. So I went to a craft store and I found a bag of these little wood slices, they're called, and I think it was $5.
Perfect size for an ornament. Perfect
size, some are a little bigger than others, but it was $5, I think, for a bag of maybe 8 of these, and then drilled a hole in the top. And now the trick is that when you get a photo, and you are a photographer, so you may know about this, you cannot use an actual photo, and you can't use an ink or an inkjet photo, like if you have it at home or just a regular printer.
Because the pictures are going to blur, and the ink is just not going to look quite right. It might be okay for whatever project you're doing, but if you want something that's got the kind of clarity that Jen has with hers, the sharpness and acuity, you want to use a laser printer.
Right. So I don't have a laser print at home, so I went to Staples. They have a super easy system now where you go in and you just email it. This is a black and white photo. I'm going to end up using a color photo, but it heat transfers when you use a laser jet. I think it cost me 75 cents for like 3 photos.
Right.
So I printed these out at Staples. The next thing you do is you want to take whatever size ornament that you're going to make, and you want to transfer around it. So I just kind of take a little pencil here and draw around the shape so that I know where to cut, and then cut it out so that it fits onto your ornament, right? So, or your wood slice if you're going to make a coaster or whatever. So make sure it fits on there. Now, you can either reverse your image in Word, which is what I did on a couple of them.
Yeah, because what happens, you see this like this? It's going to go face down on this, so it's going to reverse the image. So you need, if it's got words on it, you need to print it in reverse.
Which in the document Word, in a Word document, you can do that pretty easily. And I'm going to put a whole tutorial that I followed on my Facebook page in a little while, so people can do this if they want to. So then, one of my favorite things in the world is Mod Podge. You can get this at any craft store. Sometimes the dollar store has the littler
looks like the old-fashioned glue when we were kids.
It does, doesn't it? So you want to, I put a little bit on the wood slice first, and then I also covered the photo. This is one of the keys for me to making this work, is I put a lot of this on the photo. So you want to make sure the whole thing is totally covered. And just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do it, but you got to do like another layer so that there's a lot of Mod Podge on there, and then just put it on your wood slice.
And you can go to any craft store and buy this.
Any craft store, yeah. And then the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that there are no bubbles in it. And so I took like a credit card and kind of went across it and just made sure that it was nice and sealed. Then it's hard for somebody like me, but you gotta wait. You have to wait for at least 24 hours for it to set, or it will not work, because here's what will happen if it doesn't. I got impatient the first time I didn't wait, and this one that I made, it got I pulled some of the image off. So you don't want that. So then, after 24 hours, take a towel, wet it with some water. You don't want it to be super wet, but you want it to be, dripping. You don't want it to be dripping water, but wet enough, and you're gonna put it on top of your picture and leave it there for about 15 minutes until it looks translucent. And then this is the cool part. My son was like, oh, how did that happen? You just start rubbing the paper off of the picture, and the picture starts to come through, and the ink will transfer onto the coaster.
Right.
Isn't that cool? And it will leave the image on the coaster.
Yeah. Now my daughter-in-law has done this as well, and a couple of things to think about. Look at the grain in the wood, because that's going to be prominent in the picture too. So if you can buy these without grain.
Yes. Oh, and you know what? Thank you. I forgot to mention that my husband, bless his soul, after I did this the first couple times and it wasn't working out and I was crying, he offered to sand them for me. So he sanded these down and helped. That does help, because the wood grain will show through. So there's an example of Sheila's family. Look at those beautiful photos. Bob's family, Tara's family as well. And they turn out really nice. Then you might have to do this a couple times, by the way. You might have to go over this a couple times until you get all the white paper off, and go gently because you don't want to pull it off. Then you can either seal it with the Mod Podge,
Yeah.
or I'm going to actually use a clear spray
Like
to
a
set
varnish?
it for like
Yeah.
a clear gloss
Yeah.
to set them. But I mean, once you get the hang of it, it's really easy, and it's
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
these
like-
make great gifts,
Then we'll-
if you
then
like
we'll-
to make homemade
then
stuff.
we'll look at that one again. So,
Oh, look at that one. Is it? Can you see it? Let's get it nice and cleared up. That's John and his grandkids.
Well, no,
Oh, that's me. Oh, where? I thought you had
well,
the grandkids.
Craig, I don't mind being.
That's me and my
Christmas
son. Sorry, you're his. Yeah.
I'm a pseudo.
But
I'm
I
a
hadn't
pseudo
got all that
grandpa.
up. But here's yours. There's John and his grandkids.
Yeah.
So we'll make that. Where's the thing? Yeah.
Right. So it turned out.
Aren't those neat?
It did turn
I mean,
out.
it's so cheap to make too.
It is, and it worked for black and white. You notice that,
Yeah.
and with color, but color I think is superior.
Works
So.
better. Yeah, I'll put all of this on my Facebook page and the tutorial I followed too.
All
Thank
right.
you for your advice too.